Columbia University changes their tune after a $400 million hit by Trump. Activists unite against Trump on Women's Day. Here's the top 5 reasons Trump is trending today.
Trump is trending, he's everywhere. From the news to the cat babies in our air.
All right, number 1 reason Trump is trending today. Columbia University now is changing their tune and says they were willing to and are going to work with President Donald Trump. This is from the acting president of Columbia University. This comes after President Donald Trump canceled $400 million in funding to Columbia University for illegal protests. Now, this sparks a little controversy with some people saying, hey, it's just free speech. Other people pointing out the fact that this wasn't speech. These are people that were breaking windows, took over the school, prevented people from going to class, acting in a terrorist manner, building all these freaking encampments all over the campus, were asked to leave and break down these tents. They wouldn't do it. So there was a little more into it than just standing up a sign and protesting in a normal way. These people became violent. We all saw what went down. It got very crazy at that university. Trump says your $400 million is canceled. Now Columbia University changes their tune. Here's my take on this. First of all, Columbia University is just another woke factory, right? Churning out these kids that hate America, don't respect the police, they're anti-family, anti-everything, right? Anti-God. This is what these people are coming out of, all of these liberal, left-wing lunatic schools. My biggest issue with this is that Columbia University has $15 billion, with a B, billion dollars in endowments. Why in the world are us taxpayers giving $400 million to these schools? This is insanity. This highlights the fact that all of these schools, none of them should be getting money from the tax. If you got $15 billion in the coffers, why in the world are taxpayers like us giving you more money? This is absolutely ridiculous. I think it should be canceled one way or the other. But now, obviously, Columbia University changes their tune because they want every nickel they can get from us taxpayers who they view as less than them. Number 2 reason Trump is trending today, we know about his vice president, J.D. Vance. The face memes with J.D. Vance have been going all over the place on Twitter especially, but they've been all over social media. J.D. Vance even tweeting one out himself and having fun with it. He can laugh at himself. The reason why J.D. Vance was trending today was because he was confronted by a pro-Ukrainian protester with his 3-year-old child. So J.D. Vance put this out there. Today, while walking my 3-year-old daughter, a group of Slava Ukraini protesters followed us around and shouted as my daughter grew increasingly anxious and scared. I decided to speak with the protesters in the hopes that I could trade a few minutes of conversation for them leaving my toddler alone. Nearly all of them agreed. It was a mostly respectful conversation, but if you're chasing a 3-year-old as part of a political protest, you're a shit person. So this went all over the place. Obviously, we see these protests, people get out of control, especially the Slava Ukraine, all these anti-American people that are out there. We get it. But when you have somebody out there with their child, you've got to leave them alone. This goes on both sides of the fence. You got to leave. You cannot start to look like a lunatic endangering the welfare of a child, because by doing that, no matter what your argument is, you are going to look like a piece of shit that J.D. Vance called you out on. Number 3 reason Trump is trending today, it's International Women's Day. And of course, they had all kinds of marches in New York City and Boston, and all these activists were uniting against President Donald Trump. They have all of these trans activists out there. We understand this question of what is a woman is impossible to be answered by Democrats who try to lead you in a different direction. But I say no. I think today, obviously, if we're going to have a day where we respect women, International Women's Day, I don't know why we need another day like this. I'm not big on all of these days that come out. We have Mother's Day, which I think is important. But I'll just say this. For women in my life, my mother, my wife, my daughter, I love women. I have nothing but respect for them. And I want to give a shout out personally to all of the stay-at-home moms that are in our country that are showing up every day for their families. They are the nucleus of that family, keeping the household running, looking after their children, taking care of their husbands. You guys are rock stars, and I don't think you get enough credit, and you deserve it all, because I have nothing but the utmost respect for all of you. They call them stay-at-home moms or homemakers, whatever those words are. I call you a mother, right? Or they call you housewife, all these different terms. They try to slight you. They try to make you feel bad about what you're doing. You're doing the most important job there is in this country, and that is raising your children and making a home for your family. So my hat is off to you on this International Women's Day. Number 4 reason Trump is trending today, Congressman Al Green is now pulling out his race card. Couldn't wait to do that. He was censored. He says he was targeted because of his color, called it invidious discrimination. This is the poor me's. Let's be honest about what Al Green did. Al Green went up there with his cane, waving his cane at President Donald Trump. They asked him to sit down, asked him to sit down again. There was no chance that Al Green was going to sit down. This was a premeditated plan for Al Green to get thrown out of the chamber. He knew this was going to come. He wanted to play the martyr. He wanted to say, look at what I'm standing up for. He was not going to sit down until they threw him out. So that was never going to happen. This wasn't a guy that just caught up in the moment and said, oh, I can't believe this. This guy went there with the intention on being thrown out of the chamber, knowing that he would face a censorship, and then use it to say, look at how they come after me because I was standing up for you. This guy is not who he thinks he is. No one's on board with his bullshit. They tried to compare this to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lorena Bobert. These people, when told, they sat down. They didn't do it until they had to be removed. Another point to point out here, at Joe Biden's State of the Union, when there was a gentleman, a Gold Star father, shouting out at Joe Biden, not only did they throw him out of the chamber, they actually arrested the man, okay? A Gold Star father whose son died in Abbeygate was yelling at Joe Biden because he wanted answers on the Afghan withdrawal debacle, and did they not just throw him out, they arrested him as well. They dropped the charges later on because they got so much pushback from it, but it just goes to show you that it happened on the other side and didn't happen, just happen. They arrested the guy. Al Green, this guy is a loser and a lunatic. He did this for attention. He's an activist, and he stands for absolutely nothing. Number 5 reason Trump is trending today, there's a new funding bill that's on the table for next week to avoid a government shutdown. Donald Trump says he hopes that the GOP senators and congressmen will sign it, saying this on Truth Today. The House and Senate have put together, under the circumstances, a very good funding bill, CR. All Republicans should vote, please. Yes, next week. Great things are coming for America, and I am asking you all to give us a few months to get through to September so we can continue to put the country's financial house in order. Democrats will do anything they can to shut down our government, and we can't let that happen. We have to remain united, no dissent. Fight for another day when the timing is right. Very important. Make America great again. Okay, so I am not for all this government spending. We spent much time last year on a podcast talking about forget about these CRs. We got to stop funding all this bullshit. We can't keep funding the government. But Donald Trump is asking us now for more time, and I think you have to give it to this guy. He came into this situation with this financial situation that's going on. The country is buried because of the Biden administration. He's got us all destroyed here. So you have to have faith, and we got this far. We have to give Trump a chance. We know that this wasn't going to be a light switch that you could turn on and off and then all of a sudden ignite the economy. If we supported him this far, we've got to give him the opportunity to get to September. We reevaluate things when we get to that point. All right, so that's what I got here. Those are the top 5 reasons I got why Trump is trending. If you're enjoying these breakdowns, please follow the podcast so you can hear the top 5 reasons Trump is trending each and every day.
Trump is trending, he's everywhere. From the news to the cat babies in our air.